On the horizon of this forest path, you see a group of dark cloaked figures slowly trudging towards you. What do? My half-orc barbarian braces her great hammer, and that's a 1. Critical fail. Steve, what do? Well, I believe in anticipation, my rogue would try and hide behind a tree. Okay, I rolled a 1. That's another critical fail. Tom, what does your human bard do? Active perception check. It's a natural 20. Let's fucking go.
I feel it in my fingers, I feel it in my toes. These motherfuckers mean to harm us, and they got to go, so come on, get them now. You picked the wrong day to fuck around with my tight crew. So skipping it, I can perceive you. Here's what we're gonna do. Me and my boys gonna mess you up.
I rolled a 1.
Fuck, my boys are otherwise engaged, so I'm gonna bring it on myself.
Hey, I forgot. You're supposed to tell me what I see, right? Yes, thank you. Let's just slow it all down a bit. So you notice that one of the hooded figures is a little shorter. I cast Vicious Mockery. Nat 20, let's go.
You're a short motherfucker and nobody likes you.
Short!
Everybody says how fucking short that guy is, and that stops you from forming meaningful relationships. When you were born, everybody thought that you were just a head, but then the doctor said, wait, this stupid motherfucker tiny short ass baby got a tiny little itty bitty body, and I hate it.
Your attack lands and absolutely shatters the mind of the cloaked figure. Perception check, please. Nat 20, let's go. You perceive the figure was so short because it was a child. There's always a kid, specifically the child you've been looking for the last 15 days game time and 5 days of our actual lives. Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't know. I'll be better. His body's just lying there, right? Right? Yes. Don't.
Move that body now, move that body. Loot that motherfucker. Play my flute when I loot that dead kid's body.
Bitch!
It's Thursday night.
One by one we climb until we reach the top. 2 by 2 we fall. Will we meet our end or meet our destiny? Hold your breath and roll.
How do you want to do this?
It's Thursday night. All ye critters, come join us. It's time to continue our flight. There is magic and mystery. Who knows what will happen? He might. But one thing's for sure, we never give up on the fight.
From the healer to the renegade,
We all share the same goal. Adding more allies, taking more chances.
hold your breath and roll.
You can certainly try.
It's Thursday night. All ye critters, come join us. It's time to continue our flight. There is magic and mystery. From darkness our friendship will rise. But one thing's for sure, we never give up on the fight. Oh, get ready. It's Thursday night.
Oh boy, chat. Sound off in chat if you're here. Hello, chat. Roll a performance check to see if stream is going good. Where is my D20? I'll do it right now. I rolled a 10, so it could go either way. A 10 is a pass. It's not perfect. It's not horrible. Okay. Are y'all ready to... Okay, we'll switch to it. Hello everyone. Don't mind that. Welcome to the stream. What is that? What are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about, Aloe. Well, elaborate on what? What do you mean? Elaborate on what? What am I supposed to be elaborating on? There's nothing wrong here. Why do I have a pink seat? Oh, I don't know. Why do I have a pink anything? I like pink. Fuck you. Oh my god, this will be so weird, out of context. But yeah, Phil is hereby banned from this stream. He is banned. I still have to teach this motherfucker how to play D&D. He's not allowed here. Not allowed on this stream. Fuck you. This is not at all... It's not at all serious. It's literally just a joke asset for this stream. How to play D&D. Roll D20. Boom. Easy. I wish it was that easy to play D&D. I wish it was that easy to play D&D. It really, it's a lot. Have you ever DM'd before? The hardest part of playing D&D is getting people to play with? Yes. That is, like, literally the hardest part, is finding people who can play and who want to play. And they're like, oh yeah, I'm interested, and then literally last second everyone is like, actually, I can't be here today. I know it's like 5 minutes before session starts, and I know you're all ready, but I can't do it. Sorry. Ugh. I've had that happen to me way too many times. I've been hurt too many times. Oh man. I think the easiest part about D&D for me is literally just playing the character. And by playing the character, I mean just being them. Cause like that's you know, I love first sessions, like not session 0, session bleh. Try saying session 0 like 10 times fast. Session fuck. Session zeros are more for like getting together and creating your characters. When I say first session, I mean like campaign starts, session 1, where everyone's finding their bearings, and you figure out how your character's gonna be, because literally the second you start playing, like the first words that come out of their characters' mouths, you get a feel and you're like, yes, this is who I am, this is what they're gonna be. And that's the most fun part. Well, I think the most fun part is actually having the characters, like, develop over time. Because you will never have the same character that you started out with. By the end of the campaign that you're in, they're gonna be a completely different person. And that's awesome. Getting in the zone! I love getting in the zone. I haven't played D&D in a very long time, like 3-ish months maybe. Like a lot of my campaigns have been on hiatus. Like even the one that I'm like supposed to be streaming on this channel, but I haven't played in a bit, and I want to play. We're gonna be getting back into our Trigun-inspired campaign soon, and I'm very excited about that because I really missed that campaign. 2 characters are supposed to get together, mine and an NPC, and I really want it to happen. I want it to give me an excuse to draw again, please. Like, I just want to play my baby. That's the horrible thing about D&D, is that sometimes you gotta take breaks, but for an addict like me, I don't like taking breaks. Breaks are stupid. I wish they'd never happen. I wish we could play D&D all the time, forever. Getting frisky with an NPC, goddamn. You didn't see Campaign 2. If you were there, if you were a part of that campaign, then you would know. You have no idea. This isn't my first rodeo. But no, my current character is nowhere... She knows what sex is, but she won't tell you. Like that sort of deal. Like I said, like I explained to you before when I was talking about her earlier, is that she was a very, like, dedicated college student, so she didn't really have time to crush on boys. She was thinking about getting straight A's and all that, so never had a boyfriend, never got asked out. But she can fantasize about a dark and mysterious stranger. Why is that her type? I don't know. How many dice sets do I have? I currently have 2, actually. One is like a regular D&D like dice set, very standard. Though it's I bought this set based off of the colors so that they would be like themed around my character. So I call this my Ivari dice set. And I have another like jumbo dice set that was gifted to me when I went to California for the first time. Thank you, John, by the way. They're like these huge pink dice, and they're really pretty. They come in this like this wooden like crate. You can slide open the top and put all your fucking dice in. I love it. Going from straight A's to making boys going straight A. Aloe, what the fuck are you talking about? Oh. Making them moan! Fuck you. Oh my god, that's awful. That is fucking awful. Why would you say that to me? it doesn't really count as a dice set, but I do have like a singular D20 that I bought off of Etsy. Like, it's purple with like iridescent little flakes in the center with golden etchings for the numbers, and I really like it. It's very pretty. I fell down the D&D rabbit hole hard. Like, I remember, this was back when me and Matt weren't dating, and I just, like, got into our friend group, but, Matt needed, someone to, play, because our friend Logan had dropped out of the campaign because he's a fucking coward. Anyway, Matt asked me if I would be interested in D&D, and I said, yeah, sure, maybe, I don't know. I guess I could try it out. I've heard of it, but I haven't really, you know, played before. I don't know how it works. And so the day of session, he sits me down and goes, all right, we're gonna create your character right now. I'm gonna run session anyway. So, get cracking! And in 3 hours, I had my character, like, I was, like, trying to move as fast as I could because I didn't want to keep people waiting. Like, I was literally thrusted into my first session, like, the moment I stopped, like, I was finished making my character. And I was terrified. I didn't speak a single line of dialogue. Well, I spoke one line of dialogue, and I didn't do anything else. I didn't do anything else because I was scared. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to say. I had no idea. It was so awkward. I didn't know the people I was playing with because I didn't hang out with the people that are now like my fucking best friends. So I say my one line of dialogue during that whole thing, and I'm watching and listening to the others just do their thing, and I'm like, wow, this is cool. This is fucking cool. And I speak one line of dialogue, we end session, and I'm like, man, I didn't do a whole lot. So why was that so fun? And then I find out that D&D is like a 1 day per week sort of deal, and I'm like, fuck, I need more of this, shit. And so I became an addict. That's how it starts. You just try it for fun and then you are sucked in forever. Yes. I've been obsessed with this game for 3 years. 3 years of my life, I have been obsessed with D&D. You have no fucking idea how much of a death grip D&D has on me. It's not fair. Is this a hidden die roller anonymous session or something? I don't know. I mean, spill your grievances. Spill your stories. You're all welcome and... Yeah, this is an AA meeting for D&D addicts. This is an intervention. You need to stop. It's getting out of hand. Oh man. Listen, my first ever character was a barbarian dwarf. He was afraid of killing people, but he loved busting balls. Don't question me. Busting balls? Huh? Hi, Anthony. Welcome. Okay, so since not many people know this story, I'm gonna tell it because it involves D&D, at least somewhat. Okay, so the friend I was talking about before, our friend Logan, he was going to be hosting D&D because he was the DM at the time. This is not my story, by the way. Matt told me this story. So his dog had peed on the floor of his house. And he's like, okay, I'll just clean that up. And so he used bleach. That didn't work. And mixed like a bunch of other chemicals together by accident. And so he created mustard gas in his house. And so he had to call everyone up and be like, hey guys, session won't be held in my house anymore. And they're like, oh, why? Because I mixed bleach and ammonia together and I created mustard gas in my house. They're like, Logan, how'd you do that? How'd you do that? Why'd you do that? It's like, I don't want to talk about it. Sorry. I don't know, Matt tells it a lot more funnier than I do. I am not a funny person. At least not on purpose. I can never be funny on purpose. Oh man. I'm really excited to continue working on the Cycle of Hope because I really want to get this Lethal Company campaign like ready to go. Like I don't want to start asking people if they want to play when I don't even have the game ready yet. But I'm very excited. It'll be my first real-time DMing a campaign instead of a one-shot. I've DM'd like 2 one-shots before. You could ask who's interested in such at least, I guess. Yeah, I guess so. Like, I've been thinking about, like, posting, like, I guess a forum? Question mark? Like a post on my Twitter for mutuals only, of course, to see who would be interested in, like, playing. Like, since I'm trying to remain truthful, or faithful to, Lethal Company, and each set of people, it's gonna be, contained into 4 people. You can only prepare so much. The best way to learn is do. Yeah, I know. I'm just preparing everything that I need to have ready. Like, I still need to work on the story. I still need to work on, like, bringing in monsters into the campaign. Like, both from the game and new ones that I want to add in personally. I am also working on a combat system called QEEs, or Quick Enemy Encounters, because D&D combat kind of sucks and it's very sluggish and I don't want to go through that. Like, combat for me is like the worst part of D&D. I hate combat. Well, I wouldn't say I hate combat, but combat can be very annoying and like very boring. So I'm implementing like a new mini system for combat, because you don't really do combat in Lethal Company. Like, it's very quick. I'm really trying to just I'm trying to do more with horror, because I love horror, and I feel like we don't get to play enough horror in D&D. And I really want to try doing horror, because I know I can do it. I think I can do it. and I'm very excited. Have you looked into other combat systems from other tabletop role-playing games? No, I haven't. But I'm very happy with the idea that I have in mind for the combat system for the Lethal Company campaign. I've only ever done like traditional D&D combat because that's just what we do. It's easy, obviously, but there's like a lot of like reading and whatnot, like what spells you can do, what actions you got. Like it's very slow. So I worked up a way to I've worked up a way to make it so that it's not a hassle. And it can induce panic. I'm trying to keep the panic part of Lethal Company in. Also, it's gonna be all homebrew. Cycle of Hope is gonna be all homebrew because I'm fucking insane. Like the only other thing that's gonna be like D&D-esque is the dice rolling, because there's still gonna be like basic skill checks. Like I'm still gonna keep that. I'm also thinking up I need to make roles for the Lethal Company campaign. I need to make 4 roles or classes based on like what type of employee you're gonna be. I don't know, I'm very happy with what I've thought up. I'm so excited! Like, the only thing that I've been very vocal about the Cycle of Hope's development. Like, I've been posting about it a lot and what I've been doing. And I actually talked about this one thing with Phil, because he loves the loot bugs in or the hoarder bugs in Lethal Company, and we both agree that the hoarder bugs should be able to dance, and that the hoarder bugs should also, you know, you should be able to tame hoarder bugs. And I implemented both of those things into the Lethal Company campaign, so you can get a hoarder bug pet, but you have to work for it. You have to work for that companion. Hello, Parker Martin. Welcome to the stream. But yeah, we both agreed. And then, yeah, we also agreed that, like, to tame them, just give them scrap. Give them scrap, and to also train them to go find scrap. And it will help make the job easier. And they... Why is Phil not allowed? It's okay, don't... It's... Cause... You wanna know why he's not allowed here? I'm still waiting for him to tell me, because we hate Fillmore! We fucking hate Fillmore! So I'm still waiting on him to be available for me to teach him D&D, so he's not allowed here. Not in this stream specifically, this is just for this stream. I know it's so jarring to see out of context, it's very funny. But yeah, I still have to teach Phil D&D. I'm just waiting for him to be, like, ready and available. It's all up to him whenever he's ready. Stares at him intensely. I'm very nervous to teach him D&D because I am in no way an expert. I'm just Like, I'm horrible at explaining things. I tend to, like, ramble and trail off because I suck at talking. Like, Matt would be so much better suited to help me with this. But I'm very excited to drag him down with me into the D&D pit. To the D&D pit of hell. And once you're down there, you can never get out. D&D is just this... It's this unstoppable force. Like, I've never met a person who isn't addicted to D&D. But who knows, Phil might be this this special breed of person who's like, yeah, D&D's fun, but it's whatever. I'm very excited to I'm very excited to teach him. I mean, D&D is like very easy once you like understand that the hardest part of D&D is just character creation. Like, that's literally the hardest thing you'll ever have to do in D&D. Like, you don't understand how easy it is to play D&D. I know I said earlier that I wished, like, oh, I wish D&D was that easy to play. It's easy. The hardest part of playing D&D is making the character. Because you're like, oh, what fucking idea in my brain, what character hasn't been done before? Like, once you know you got the players to play, it's just a matter of getting the character on that sheet and knowing what that character is going to be and do and whatnot. I think another hard part might, for some people, might be role-playing, because I know that I think for like a small amount of people that aren't drama kids or don't like improv, just don't vibe with role-playing and just, you know, act, or not act, but like they say what their character does and that's all they do, which is completely fine, by the way. Like, not everyone's gonna dig with the whole role-playing thing, like getting into character and whatnot, but I eat that shit up. I eat that shit up 100% because it's just so much fun for me. I love acting. I like being a voice actor. I love being a little voice actor because it's fun. I like pretending that I'm British sometimes. Or that I'm a New Yorker, you know, it's just a bada bing, bada boom. I don't know, it's the fun part. I'm trying to voice act. Does that count as improv? Yes. I think that's another hard part of D&D, it's improv. Because not everyone's gonna be an improv master. And no one's gonna know how to, like, not everyone's gonna know how to do basic improv. Because that saying shit on the fly is hard. And then you think of something, like, later and you're like, ah, shit, I should have said that. I should have said that. That's such a good line. It was, like, perfect for that exact scenario. If you've done any amount of voice acting, or if you were a drama/theater kid in school, then D&D is going to be fucking easy for you. It's going to be so easy for you. Like, why do you think Matt DMs? Why do you think I only play D&D if Matt is the fucking DM? Matt is like, he is a perfect DM. He does the funny voices, he's emotional, he does good story, he makes everything just so immersive. He's just perfect, he's the perfect DM. Matthew Mercer, never heard of him. Matthew Condon, that's my DM, that's my man right there. I'm hyping up Matt because I love him, and also he's awesome, amazing. Love him so much. Sorry if that's a bit gay, but I don't care. I'm queer. Fuck you. Oh, I gotta finish my ice. It's warm in my room right now. Yes, Anthony, he learned it all from you. You taught him well. He's so... He's great. He's a great DM. I'm eating the ice. Man. You don't hear that? Yummy. I love hard water. Man, I really want to get back into Swan Song Season 2. I want to play! Anthony, I want to play! I want to play Viv again. I miss Viv. I miss my baby. I guess it'll be a lot easier to get back into D&D now that Matt finally moved into the new place. Maybe we can start getting things back on track soon, because I really want to play. I want to play. I want to play my game. We could probably move it to Wednesday. I mean, we moved it to Wednesday before. I hope Glory can come back and play. I miss Glory. I miss Naven. No one knows what I'm talking about, but at least Anthony does. Yeah, Swan Song is like this, it's this Western style, Trigun-inspired D&D campaign that we've been doing. And I really like it. It's very fun. It's kind of Spelljammer, in a sense. At least the setting is supposed to be Spelljammer. At least within the universe. Though we don't leave the planet that we're on. But I like the planet. It's very dusty. I play a little fighter gal. Who's 5'3", very small looking, very innocent, and then she just fucking kills you, turns you into red paste. And then you're like, oh my god. I'm dead. I wanna turn people into goo with my hammer. I wanna fucking pulverize them and steal their money from their pocket. Ugh, I wanna take down a cult. Ugh. I wanna kiss my wooden boyfriend. Ugh. Also, if you guys have any questions for me regarding D&D, like literally any questions about it at all, just feel free to throw them at me. I'm kind of running on empty here, not gonna lie. So ask away. You have the hammer from Doom Eternal? No, I have Thor's hammer from the MCU. It's called the Dwarven Thrower. No, it doesn't throw dwarves, but dwarves wielded it. Let me actually look up the Dwarven Hammer. Not the Dwarven Hammer. The Dwarven Thrower. Alright, the Dwarven Thrower. It's a melee weapon, very rare, and requires attunement by a dwarf. You gain +3 bonus to attack damage rolls made with this magic weapon. It has the thrown property with a normal range of 20 feet and a very long range of 60 feet. When you hit with a ranged attack using this weapon, it deals an extra 1d8 damage, or if the target is a giant, 2d8 damage. Immediately after the attack, the weapon flies back into your hand. So literally Thor's hammer. It's bludgeoning damage. Properties, range, thrown, versatile, range 20 to 60 feet. Secondary damage is 1d10. Weight is 2. Though we don't really care about weight in our fucking D&D group, because it's too much to keep track of. We also don't do spell components, because that's just too much. Zero out of 10 doesn't throw dwarfs. Yeah, you spelt that wrong. You better be sorry. Fuck you. And I don't know about you, but I don't know, I just thought of this, but I never would have become friends with Matt or the friend group that I'm currently a part of now if it wasn't for D&D. Like, literally playing D&D brought me out to California. D&D made me fucking... D&D helped me get together with Matt. If it wasn't for D&D, I wouldn't have cared about any of these motherfuckers. I wouldn't care. Because to be honest, that... Anthony, I'll be honest. Our friend group scared me. Like, I was so nervous around... I was nervous being in the server. Because, like, you weren't the people that I typically hung out with. But over time, it was just like, yeah, these are my people. I vibe with this, I fuck with this. D&D made you say California girls? Yes, it did. California girls were undeniable, fine, fresh, fierce, we got it on lock. But yeah, D&D is like a special kind of game where it brings people together. I really like that. It's a very good it's just you guys know what I'm talking about, right? Like, it's that special kind of thing where it can unite people. Because you kind of have to work together in order to play D&D. I mean, you don't have to, but you gotta cooperate somehow. I know, it's a game that makes friends. And I like that. D&D is very fun. I like D&D. I get to hang out with people. I get to play my silly little character. And I get to have fun. with everyone together. Just guys being dudes, you know? I love guys being dudes. There's one story that some people in prison play D&D. I mean, yeah, why wouldn't they? Like, there's bound to be some prisoners who just, like, go around and, like, be like, hey, I'm organizing a D&D campaign. You guys want to play? And they'll be like, oh, fuck yeah, sure. I'm gonna search it up. No, Vice, that's just a story involving prisoners escaping. Dungeons and Dragons in Prison. It's a D&D it's a short. Hold on. You're gonna hear it, but I'm not gonna show it because that's so much effort.
Let's talk about Dungeons and Dragons in prison. You are not allowed to play Dungeons and Dragons in prison. You might just be mapping out what's Mordor and what's Middle Earth or whatever, but I guarantee you in the past, someone messed this up for everybody. Because they probably tried to hide their map for their prison escape route in a map for Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh, wow.
It can lead to an escape charge. It can either be like a whole shot for like 30 days, all the way up to 5 extra years added onto your prison sentence. People play it anyways. They don't care about the rules that much in prison. The problem with it from the inmate population, it's frowned upon because there's so many chomos that like to play Dungeons and Dragons. Is everybody who plays Dungeons and Dragons a chomo? For sure not at all. But these dudes will try to integrate themselves into anything they can use to relate to kids because
this man's very red.
It's the exact same thing as when you catch a room full of chomos in the TV room up early so they can watch SpongeBob or Blue's Clues.
Fuck yeah, Blue's Clues. Prisoners play D&D. They're told not to play D&D. They play D&D anyway. Yeah, the most I can find on YouTube about prisoners playing D&D is literally just, like, it's... The plot of the session is just escaping prison. That's literally the only thing I found about prisoners playing D&D. What's with the no fizz nom sign? He's banned from the stream. That's it. And it's just for the stream. He's not allowed here. Not until I teach him D&D. I think Philip DeFranco made a short about that. I'd have to... Philip DeFranco. Been a while. If there is, I cannot find it. Oh well. But what if Phil is here secretly? Then get the fuck out of my stream, Phil. Get out. You're not allowed here. Get out. DM me. I mean, don't DM for me, but like message me. Phil, if you're in my stream, get out. Get out now. I trust him. He would obey the sign. I mean, come on, chat. Would he? He would. I believe he would. He'd obey the sign. He'd see that sign and go, "Oh, I am not allowed here. I will respect the note." The no trespassing sign. For the record, Phil was not canceled again. No, he was not. This is just a funny little gag that I'm doing. He's not allowed on this stream until I teach him D&D. I have to teach him D&D first. Very excited for that. Bro is banned from my channel. Banned, I say. Press X to doubt. No, he would see this sign and he'd respect it 100%. No doubt in my mind. Trust that man with my life. You are banned from the daycare! Rule breaker, rule breaker! Oh, my throat is already starting to hurt. It's almost been an hour already? What the fuck? How dare you make an illegal reference here? Do you realize what you've done? I'm just kidding, it's my channel. Just because he has to address it as illegal, it does not mean it's illegal here. I don't know anything about D&D. Does that mean I am banned too? Yes. Yes, you are. Get out. But no, do you guys have any questions for me? Anything about D&D in general? I'll be happy to answer them. I don't have much stories to tell, aside from literally just telling you word for word what happened in my campaigns, and that will take at least more than 12 hours. I've been in one D&D campaign, but we never finished it. Yeah, that tends to happen sometimes. Like, sometimes just DMs can get very, like, tired of a campaign. Like, creativity can fizzle out, and they can just need something new. And so a different campaign is made, or they just need a break in general. Like, it happens. It happens with, like, every DM, damn near. DMing is a very stressful thing. It can be very stressful. Itchy. Alright, if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask me. I'm going to get more water, and I will read anything when I come back. Right, just give me a second. Alright, I'm back with my fucking water. My ice water. Is D&D backwards D&D? Serious question though. My favorite moment. No, favorite moment in any campaign. Oh, that's a tough one. Because I have a lot of favorite moments. I think my favorite moment would have to be when my character, Ivari, confessed to Cadigan, her now dead husband. Cause it was just a very cute thing. And it marked the it marked the start of their relationship, and I love, well, like, their official relationship. I don't know, you guys know I'm a sucker for Cadvari. I draw that shit on the daily. Not the daily, but I would if I could. If I had the ideas for it, then I would. I'd draw them kissing more. I don't know, it's just, if I could go on and not give myself a headache, then I would talk about my campaigns, like, from start to end. Each and every one of them. I would. If I wasn't tired. If it wouldn't tire me out, then I would. Like, I went on a 45-minute rant about Ivari and Cadigan. So... and it's already been an hour from me just talking about D&D nonsense. Who created tiredness? I don't know, but they need to fucking die. In Minecraft. I need to say that so I don't get severely punished by YouTube. Well, I don't know if you guys noticed, but I haven't slept. I mean, I have, but I'm trying not to fall asleep so that I can fix my stupid schedule. Lying down seems like it would be nice. You know I'm tired when I keep repeating myself. Or when I have to repeat myself. I know in these types of streams I don't have, like, a lot to say. It's literally just me sitting in silence for some periods of times, but, y'all have to realize that I'm not the most talkative person in the world. I'm very non-verbal, if... I was gonna say if that makes sense. Of course it makes sense. Like, a lot of people are non-verbal, what the fuck? To encourage people to come in a little more, I'm gonna repost the the live stream tweet. Normalize being a sleepyhead. It is perfectly normal to be trapped in the realm of eternal dreamer. Yeah, I don't know. Man, fucking winter just turns me into a bear. I'm very sleepy. Like, I get tired all of the time. And I just don't want to do anything. Like, the winter months are my least productive months. Like, when summer hits, I'm back, baby. Or at least when spring hits. I'm fucking back in my prime. But I still gotta work anyway. I gotta work because I gotta feed myself. No, I'm not taking any commissions right now. I literally forgot what I just said. What the fuck? I was trying to think about what I said prior so that I could continue off of that, and then I was reading chat, and then I... Oh, yep, there we go. We're back. OBS did the thing where it reconnected for me, thank God. It's the first time it's done that in a while. It didn't just automatically disconnect me. Yippee! No, it's not low temps that make people sleepy. I thought it had something to do with the temperature, but it's not. It's due to the amount of sunlight people get, because if people don't get like enough like sunlight, it causes them to be sleepier. Hello, Doge. Welcome. Welcome to the stream. Just chilling, talking about D&D stuff. Chat again if you have any questions, anything you want to know. I'm more than happy to answer. Not a fan of D&D, but I'll say, why not? Yeah, why not? Who knows, you might change your mind. You will change your mind, right? I'm just kidding, you don't have to. But I've just been talking about, like, you know, stories, little things, some fun facts. I've been talking about, the Lethal Company D&D campaign that I want to do. Talked briefly about dice. Talked about how my friend Logan made mustard gas in his house. You know, fun things like that. Hello, welcome! Welcome to the stream. How does one get into D&D? Oh. Get dragged into it. That's how I got into D&D. No, if you want to get into D&D, I would suggest watching channels like XP to level 3, Critical Role, or like Fool's Gold. Like literally any like D&D centered channel, like even like the horror story channels. Like just to like get a grasp of like what the game is about, how people play. Like that's the easiest way to get into D&D. Though it's not as fun. It's not as fun if you don't play it yourself. I would recommend, like, just finding people who are interested, seeing if, like, they want to play. Anyone who's willing to DM, that's the hardest part. What do you need to start a D&D adventure? A DM, first of all. A DM who wants to DM. If they want to do homebrew, they can do homebrew. It's... A DM does a lot, and DMs need to be appreciated. Like, the DM's job is to basically put you into this world, immerse you into this world, and it's their job to be literally every single other character, which is very hard, very, very hard. Which is why I'm glad I'm gonna be DMing a Lethal Company campaign, because that requires almost no characters, aside from the four people. How to be a DM? Don't ask me. I'm not a DM. Not yet, anyways. I don't know how to DM. I don't know how to be a good DM. I'm not a good DM. I've only DM'd like 2 times before. And it's very stressful. It's very hard. Okay, story idea. A cursed treasure hoard that turns anyone who owns it into dragons. That does sound cool, actually. Is online D&D a thing? Yeah, of course. Like, I do my D&D campaigns over Discord, like, all the time for the past 3 years. I've only ever done one in-person D&D campaign. Not D&D campaign, but a D&D session, and that was when I went to California for the first time with my friend group. It wasn't the same as playing it over, like, Discord. I think it's much more fun over Discord, really. Because I feel like it's less awkward and people can be more comfortable, like, role-playing and doing, like, playing their character. I think it's a lot more comfy. So yeah, online D&D is very much a thing. If it wasn't, I don't think D&D would be as popular as it is. Especially, like, nowadays, like, D&D is, like, was a very popular during the pandemic. It was, like, the one thing that brought people together. Like, D&D shot up, like, super high. It got very popular during the pandemic. So, a lot of people were playing online instead of in person, because you couldn't play in person. So, and you got voice calls, so it was pretty much no-brainer. Plus, it's, like, easier to set up online, I believe. At least in my opinion. Plus, you could add music. You can record sessions. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. My throat's already hurting. See, this is what happens when I talk for a long time. I don't know how streamers like Phil can do this. I don't know how he talks so much. I wish I could talk all the time and not get tired. Oh boy. Okay. I'm gonna take a little break from talking, but I will put on some D&D stuff in the background, just so that we can stay on topic. Let's see. Inside the 40-year-long Dungeons and Dragons game. What? Oh, I wish that was me. Hold on, I need to hear this.
Remember that game of D&D you started when you were 11? What if it never stopped?
My name is Robert Wardoff. I'm a history professor
wish that
at the
was
University
me.
of Western Ontario. I am a dungeon master for a campaign that has been going on for 40 years.
What began in secret with a few friends has turned into a game that takes up much of Robert's life and most of his house. Robert has around 30,000 hand-painted figurines, countless custom-made pieces of terrain, and dozens of devoted players taking part in his campaign.
If you're going to keep a game going for 40 years, it's going to have to be a good game. If you're going to have people who are going to want to play and are going to want to fly in, you're going to have to offer a product that is going to be better than all the other alternatives that are out there. I can certainly say with confidence that this is the best Dungeons & Dragons game in the world.
Be my DM, please. What the fuck?
So if I'm playing for 10 hours a week at 52 weeks in a year, that means if I'm doing that times
10
40,
hours a
that would be
week?
20,800 hours.
How many minutes is that?
So if I figured that out in minutes, that would end up being 1.24 million minutes, I think.
Oh my god.
As you crest the ridge, there seems to be quite a commotion. You estimate it could be as many as 24 or so goblins. You surprise them as much as they have
goblins.
surprised you. I need a surprise roll.
That's really just the start. Almost every major decision in Robert's life is designed to keep the game going.
When I was buying a house, the most important
I think
part
we
for
found
me
the-
was
the
getting a
ultimate
gaming
DM.
space that I could use. My entire basement is my gaming area.
If he doesn't slow down, he's gonna need a bigger house.
I have a lot of things.
Oh.
I've got orcs, I've got elves, I've got dwarves, I've got
Oh,
all
his
the basic
miniature
things that you'd expect,
collection.
but I
Oh
also
my
have
God.
very distinct and unique figs. I have vampires, I have undead, I have zombies, I have werewolves, beholders. Tiamat, the mother of all dragons, all the big demonic lords from the Demogorgon. But also heroes. So all the great kings and queens of countries, the high-level
Wow.
wizards, all of these things. My goal is to have everything.
But what's the point of having so many figurines if you don't have any amazing terrain to place them?
No, I need to show you guys this. Hold on. Which where? No. Gameplay 2, maybe? There we go.
On. Robert has no shortage in that department either.
I need to be able to adapt to wherever the party's going to go. That means that I need to have my green terrains. I need to have mountain terrain. I need to have all of my winter terrain, my arid desert terrains, my water terrains. If they're going to go into a town, now I need a town,
These-
okay, are
these
they in
are
a Roman
so
town? Are they in an
cool.
Anglo-Saxon town? Are they in an African town? Is it high medieval? Is it low medieval? So now I'm trying to be able to put out a village or a town for every one of these historical settings.
It's like toys for adults. I want them all.
I can't put figurines on the table unless they are painted up to a certain level. That means that someone's got to do a heck of a lot of painting. And so that ends up being
This
me.
takes
If you found me
hyperfixation
on an
to a
average
whole
day
different level.
Working on the game, you'd probably see me in my painting room, and I'm going to be spending 2, 3, 4 hours painting figs.
And do people take their figs home?
No, no. Nobody is allowed to take their figurines home. Nobody is actually allowed to touch the figs on the table. So that's also something that would be different. A person who played Dungeons & Dragons would probably come to my table and they would immediately reach over to grab their fig. I'm probably going to growl at them and tell them, don't touch the figs, because I have to move everything. I'm sure my critics would say that there's a
He's
god
super
complex going on.
protective
How about
over his
that?
figs.
This here is the figurine of the Demon Lord Orcus.
This is the
It's
kind of
well
guy
known
that
to Dungeons
has
& Dragons, and
had
in
one
my
campaign going for
100
15 years
years
straight
ago,
across 4
which
editions
would
of
be in
D&D with
actual
the same
time
5
something
people.
like maybe
Actually, this is
1989,
a man
banished
who's
this demon.
had
So they
one
thought, that's
D&D
fine.
campaign going
Only
on for
recently,
40
last year,
years.
actually, the
Literally,
demon's
40
back.
years.
They don't know where he is. They're desperately trying to find him, and he's definitely up to no good.
Like, it's
While
inside the
fantasy, role-playing,
40-year-long
and nerd
Dungeons &
culture are
Dragons
often
game.
celebrated today,
It's the
Robert's
same
campaign
campaign,
started
it's been
during a time
going.
when people felt like they needed to play in secret.
I think I
In
found
the 80s
the
and
ultimate
90s, it was certainly
DM.
more difficult to try to talk about or explain the game to people. I grew up in a very small town, and it was quite a conservative town. And so the town inevitably found out that we were playing, and they didn't know what the heck we were doing. And Dungeons & Dragons had very bad press at the time.
Tonight we begin with a story about make-believe adventure.
Oh yeah,
and real-life
D&D
violence, and what
is
some critics fear is a
Satanism,
connection
question mark.
between the two in a game called Dungeons and Dragons.
A movie came out while we were playing called Mazes and Monsters. And it's a story of how they play this game, and then they try to act it out in real life, and basically bad things certainly happen.
Can you tell me of the giant dragon?
What? Hello? Is that... Tom Hanks? That we use Tom Hanks? I forgot. I get their names mixed up so much. That fucking Tom Hanks? Woody Toy Story? Hello?
On my travels here, I heard him.
What's now called the Satanic Panic was going on at the time. Why does my son want to play this game all the time? Why is he obsessed about it? What are you doing to him? Are you a cult leader? I got called a cult leader, a communist, like all these crazy labels. When I watched Stranger Things, it obviously hit home for me.
It's almost here. What is it?
No, fucking... Okay, but if you're a 45-year-old Christian mom and you saw his
The
basement with
whole
all these demonic
concept
statues he
matched
spends
exactly
hours
what
painting
we
to
were
be
doing
perfect,
in the
would you
early
not also
1980s.
go, this may not be
Over the
kosher with the
following
big man
decades,
upstairs?
Robert went on to
No,
build a
I would
campaign of
recognize
unrivaled
that it's
complexity.
just a
One of the things that
hobby.
makes my game unique is the story and the depth of the campaign. My world is an alternative fantasy version of historical Earth with then other historical aspects added to it. So if somebody comes in and they want to go to Athens, I can now bring in that history, philosophy, religion into the game. I'm able
That's like when you did, babe, when you brought in fucking Red Lobster into our D&D campaign. That's so cool. He's just like you.
to create when I need to create, come up with totally new races, totally new nations, totally new cultures, totally new mythologies, but also to use what the world already has.
A typical dungeon master curates the quest for a handful of players over the course of a few months. Robert, meanwhile, is tracking the adventures of more than 50 players, with story
By the way,
arcs
no
that often
D&D
span
campaign is
decades.
original. It's just a bunch of
Since the
ideas
beginning, there's
crammed
probably been
together
about 500
from other pieces of
characters that have
media.
been made and played within the game. When a new player comes in, I'm inviting them to play a game that they're going to be welcome to keep playing until I die. So you could start a character, 9 generations later, that family could take over, let's say, the Roman Empire. On one level, you're playing that individual character. On a macro level, you're also controlling the Roman Empire. So there are
Hell
numerous
yeah.
story arcs that are going on. Many of
This
those
guy's
last for
cool.
generations.
This guy's
There's
so
love
cool.
stories, romances, there's quests, there's vengeance. All these things are happening. So even though there is this large campaign quest, this large ultimate goal, you've got literally thousands of subplots and sub-campaigns going on. So you're a good game?
From the beginning, Robert quickly learned
Look at
which rules
this.
to be bent
This
and
guy's
which rules
being
could be
dudes.
broken.
When we started playing, there was probably a short period of time when I played according to the actual rules, but after that I had to fill in holes, and so I developed my own rule system, and I've never really gone back. So I have what gamers would call a homebrew rule system. And actually that's what the game was intended. When the game first came out, one of the lines in the Dungeon Master Guide told you that these are a set of rules, but to apply these loosely. And within my game and my world, there are all kinds of different aspects that you wouldn't see in an ordinary Dungeons and Dragons rule system.
Yeah, you hear that, rules lawyers? You hear that? Did you see that? Let me go back. Let me just go back real quick. Use the written material as your foundation and inspiration. Use the written material as your foundation and inspiration. Use the written material as your foundation and inspiration. Use the written material as your foundation and inspiration. Okay, I just wanted to cram that in.
My world, there are all kinds of different aspects that you wouldn't see in an ordinary Dungeons and Dragons rule system. My rules are fast, they're quick flowing, people don't have to stop and check things, and that speed of gameplay is something that I find so different in my game from ordinary Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh, I would love this
Robert
guy
strives
as a
to keep
DM.
the stakes as high as possible for his players, especially when it comes to life and death consequences for their characters.
I want death to mean something. I don't want this to be like a video game that you simply hit the reset button and you're just going to start a new character. So when your character dies, if you don't have any other characters, then you're out of the game. The game's over for you. And so when characters die or bad things happen, I have seen grown men weep at the table. And that's something also, people who don't play are a bit disturbed if they hear that somebody who's been playing a character for a long time weeps at the table. But I'm trying to create emotion. I'm trying to create excitement. People are scared. And knowing that if you die, you could be out of the game, or that character that you put so much time in is now dead. Obviously, people's heart rates are up. There's emotion going on. So I can't be shocked and surprised when that character dies that there's a show of emotion.
That's why I love D&D, man. This is why I love D&D. It's so good.
I have one daughter, and ever since she was a baby, she's been around this. I think maybe when she was 6 or 7 was the first time when she asked whether she could play. So she created a character as a fairy, and she still plays now. She's 20 years old. I mean, obviously, there's other stuff going on in her life, but she's been playing all the way through. The interesting thing happens when she starts dating and then her boyfriend wants to play. And of course I have to tell her straight off the go, now this relationship may not last forever, but the game's gonna last forever. So get ready, because I'm anticipating a situation when you break up with him, I can't break up with him. So once I allow somebody to come into the game, I'm never ever gonna stop them from playing the game. So sure enough, that situation happened. And so it can be a little bit awkward at times. But it means a lot to be able to have my daughter play the game and to have her interested in the game. And she obviously knows what the game means to me, for sure. I think there's an assumption that at some point we're all going to grow up and we're going to stop playing games. And so people always say, how does your game end? How's it going to end? And it's like, well, my answer is always, how does the world end? How is your world going to end? Well, it's probably going to end when I die. Well, for you it is, right? And so the answer is largely the same. It's much like life. More than anything else, the game represents friendship. And I find that friendship is based on planks.
I wonder how he keeps going.
So we may have gone to high school together, but as we go through our lives,
like his creative process,
we're not going to get together.
Because he's got to run out of ideas at some point.
So as long as I can keep doing it, hopefully for all of my life, I won't lose my friends. My basement's my sanctuary. It's a place that I can come and I can almost, as soon as I walk down here, I am in a different world. And it opens up all the doors of creativity. I don't ever intend on stopping playing, on stopping painting, on stopping building, and on stopping bringing my friends together to play the game. I don't ever intend on quitting.
Aw. I like him. He's cool. He's nice. Look, there's my stream. Oh man, it's just... D&D is so cool. I want a 40-year-long D&D campaign. Never gonna happen. Alright, let's see.
What all of your favorite D&D races say about you. Thought I was done with this series, but tons of new races were dropped and older ones were updated, so we're back again to stereotype them all. Watch till the end and tell me I didn't perfectly describe you with at least one of these. As always,
Come on.
the video is just a
Tell
fun
me.
little joke. This is what your favorite D&D race says about you. Hope you enjoy. Aarakocra. You love playing in games run by veteran dungeon masters because they know how to handle flying races. You're the only person in your party who knows Aarakocra lore, and strength is constantly your character's dump stat. Aasimar. When it comes to relationships, you romance characters that are the complete opposite to your own. Something about a holy angel dating an evil warlock is just taboo enough to be adorable. You've also designed a full healer build at one point, and the Aasimar's healing hands had a small part to play in it. Astral Elf. Your DM gives your group a lot of time to set up plans, and since your entire party accidentally all picked the same skills, being able to choose new ones every long rest made you the most valuable character at the table. You're also glad that nobody's picked up on how bonkers broken Starlight Step is, and are incredibly grateful that I'm not going to say why in this video. Autognome. You didn't make your character look anything like the reference art, and gutted all the lore in favor of something way more interesting. At this point, you're just playing a small warforged with more interesting features, and bullied another player into learning the mending spell so you could roleplay having them repair you. Bugbear. You've heard some crazy stories of other D&D players getting absolutely destroyed by bugbear enemies, and assumed that you'd be just as strong if you played the race yourself. That, or you're a dungeon master who wants to give them more personality than the blank slate enemy fodder most games make them out to be. Centaur. You swear
That's what
on
Matt did with
Ruponi isn't
goblins.
just a children's show, and went as a spellcaster so you could mimic Twilight Sparkle. You also have at least 3 different ways to magically get around, because the last thing you want is
I
a
like that
climbing wall
goblins
being
weren't
death of your
the
character.
typical
You started with the
D&D
jump
enemy
spell, then
in
progressed
the
to
first
Misty
campaign I
Step,
was in.
and
I love
eventually learned
goblins.
how to fly. Changeling. I've noticed a connection between Changeling players and these 4 colors. Whatever could it mean? You spent the most money out of any player at the table through painting custom miniatures to represent the dozens of different personas you have in the game. Or if you're online, are still hounding your DM to properly rig up your token so you can swap between all the character art you pulled from Pinterest. Custom lineage. You trust official D&D materials for game balance more than using homebrew to design the race you're actually interested in playing. You're
I have
also a
one
min-maxer
custom
who's
lineage
stitching all the best starting
character.
bonuses together
No, I
to create an
don't.
unstoppable level
I'm not
1
a
character
min-maxer
that's
either.
Adventures League legal. Deep Gnome. You're making the ultimate rogue build, never want to fail stealth checks, and always want to have the ability to see enemies coming from a mile away. You didn't buy the expansion book just for the race, but after glossing over its features, immediately hatched your
I think
roguish
anyone
plans. You design the
buys
mechanics of your
D&D
characters before
stuff,
their lore,
like
and
D&D
love
books
sequence
nowadays.
breaking
No,
your
you
DM's
rip them off
campaign every chance you
on
get.
you
Damn
rip them
You
off
thought Asterius
online.
from Baldur's Gate 3 was hot, and now you're here. Your wardrobe is filled with gothic flair, and you wish a cute vampire would just suck the life out of your neck already. Dragonborn. Nobody likes discussions with you about this race because they always spiral out of control.
No.
Do Dragonborn have tails? Lore-wise,
Sometimes.
it's a no, but you'd never agree to that. What's the best Dragonborn color? This seems a bit
Silver.
more racist than anything in the series so far, but OG Dragonborn players are quick to answer with red or gold. Everyone else is praising Amethyst Dragonborn though, and their resistance to force damage is held with open
I like
arms.
having
Also, if you've been
Dragonborn
enjoying the video so far, then you'll
NPCs.
love
They're
the new
fun.
RPG book I'm working on, Silver's
No,
Monster
not
Growing.
anime
Tons of your favorite
girls.
D&D monsters are getting fully fleshed out to make them perfect as playable characters and NPCs. Fun gift to break system neutral
no.
so you can play. Back to the video. Your favorite Duragar. You're always jumping at the chance to make culturally relevant characters. Some of your favorite NPCs have also been Duragar, and you host games way more than you play.
Never met a Durgar in a
You're always ready
D&D
to test the
campaign.
stamina of your vocal cords by yelling in low-pitched grunts for the whole campaign.
Matt makes every dwarf Scottish, and I think that's very funny.
You love being racist towards elves for no discernible reason, and make it a point to bring up knife ears and tree huggers in every elvish content.
That part is Rufus. That part is Rufus.
Your
100%.
characters get drunk whenever they return to town, and they wouldn't be caught dead without
That's
carrying
just
around
every
weapons
player.
that can also act as mining
We want
equipment.
alcohol.
Finally, you have a few too many hours in Deep Rock Galactic.
Yes.
Galadrin. You're swooning over this race constantly and bragging about how it's
Oh,
the
it's
superior
Zora's-
elf
it's
in terms
Zora's
of
pick.
lore, power, and style. There's a chance you've actually played Druid before, and Autumn is your
She's
favorite
a
season.
druid. Zora's the fucking Eladrin character is a druid, I think. That's funny.
Hands down. Elf. You think that elven subraces are actually full races, and are gonna get upset at me after hearing that drow aren't included on this list. You constantly bring up how old your characters are, and always give them a superiority complex. Also, you don't play elf because it's optimal, you play it because most media always has elves being the coolest characters, and that by choosing the race, that'll immediately apply to you. Fairy. You were so excited when you heard that this race was coming out. Then the second you learned they were small size instead of tiny, you curled up in a ball and died a little inside. Guess it's back to homebrew for you. Your fairy characters are pretty helpful and always looking to offer suggestions, and you can't avoid people making Legend of Zelda references in every game you make one for. Fearbolg.
Haven't had a fairy NPC or character.
You somehow found a use for their ability to speak with plants even though they have no way to respond, and kinda ditched the lore related to giants because you figured no one would care. Genasi. You know how to properly pronounce every race in this game's name, and are incredibly happy that Blaine did his research. You've never made an unattractive D&D character before, and seduce more NPCs than the party bard. During character creation, flashbacks of Avatar The Last Airbender keep assaulting you whenever you quickly read over Genasi's 4 different subraces. Gif. You have to force yourself not to make every one of your characters a dual-wielding crossbow maniac. You're always persuading DMs to let you have guns in their games, and somehow manage to find a body of water to swim in during your trip through the astral plane. Gith. You know all the super cool and interesting lore about Gith now because of Baldur's Gate 3. You also still haven't succeeded in getting your DM to read your character backstory. Gnome. Having 5 less movement speed than every other race has nearly gotten your gnome killed on multiple occasions. Besides that, most of you gnome enjoyers, just like being tiny little gremlin creatures with tall pointy hats, it really doesn't get any more complicated than that. Goblin. You base your whole character concept around gold coins, arson, or being an absolute troll. Sometimes a combination of all 3. Your female goblins are a bit too caked up, and your male ones are a bit too bloodthirsty.
No, it's they're fine.
You heard everyone talking about how deadly the first few levels of D&D are, and found the best race for dealing with that. You're constantly waiting for the party's plans to fall apart, so fighting becomes the only option, and feel the most alive whenever you completely negate one of the DM's attacks with your chiseled chest.
It's Jay and Skelly.
You use outdated memes and unironically post on Imgur. You have fights with DMs about why they're banning all the materials you want to use in their game, and are constantly looking for loopholes to be as powerful as possible. Hadozi. You made your character a sidekick to somebody else and gave them a background as a circus performer. You first learned that this race existed because D&D Shorts brought up how busted its gliding ability is, and then got heartbroken when the game devs fixed it. Half-Elf. You find half-elves to be more relatable than elves and more interesting than humans. You like simple stories that take place in small farming villages, and are always the first player to have plot hooks from your backstory used by the DM. Half-Orc. You love the Great Axe as a weapon, and are getting a bit tired of racism being the central theme in homebrew campaigns. You're also surprisingly into a healthy blend of roleplay and combat, and usually ignore anyone who can't stop flailing about how spellcasters are better than marshals. Halfling. You get your party screaming in suspense more often than anyone else at the table. Whenever you roll a 1, everyone panics. Then you let the room simmer down and reveal that halflings re-roll 1s. Hope is restored and everyone's back in suspense again. Then your next roll pivots into a natural 20 and the crowd goes wild.
You realize how much
These are the moments
fucking
you're looking for, and it's the reason you love D&D
races
so
there
much.
are. Like, there's so many.
You may be a furry, but at least you know a well-designed race when you see one. Your party loves all the creative ideas you come up with, and you never realized how open battle maps became until you got a 30-foot jumping height. Judy Hopps is also your favorite character from Zootopia. Hexblood. The Curse of Strahd is your favorite D&D module, and DMs love your characters because it's just a free excuse to add hags into the campaign, which everyone knows are objectively the coolest monsters. Fight me. Hobgoblin. You play D&D with some of the largest groups around, and are the only person in the party to ever consider using the help action. Everyone loves you for that though, and it sort of made you the unofficial leader of the group.
Hobgoblin
Human. Did somebody
player
say
character. That was when
human?
John made
Did
one.
somebody say crossbow expert feat? Yeah, your level 1 builds are crazy optimized, and you've never considered going any of the other sub-races because of it. If you're a noob, then you're playing as a standard pre-generated fighter, and if you're a pro, then you made one of the best backstories out of anyone in the party. Kalishtar. You write in-depth and complicated backstories that DMs are way too intimidated to read. Your DM also got super inspired by Baldur's Gate 3, and now every other enemy you meet is doing psychic damage. Kender. You're very aware of the hate this race had back in the day, and are doing everything in your power not to play into those stereotypes. The lack of 5e lore sort of bums you out, but you've been a D&D veteran for years now, so that's nothing a bit of older edition appropriation can't fix. Kenku. Your DM injected tons of NPCs into the game that are just objectively better than your party. There's been tons of
Kenkus are
chances for you to
fun.
steal all of their
Rufus played a
information
Kenku.
and sneak into places only their OCs would be allowed. Kobold. This is the only race you play. After your first kobold, it was over. Kobolds are a bit of an obsession for you, and you probably had one as your profile picture at some point. You hate the new version of kobold because they played around with pack tactics, and no more kobold lore than what can be found in any officially printed 5e book. Leonin. Once again, Zootopia had a bigger impact on you than you'd like to admit. Half the charm of playing a Leonin is everyone at the table marveling at how cool your character looks. And you always ask the DM if your claws
It's not my fault that anthropomorphic animals can be hot sometimes.
Lizard folk. Your characters are
That's
pretty
just not my
single-note,
fault.
have one motivator for being with the party, and if they survive long enough to see the end of the campaign,
Not saying that
always
I've
get
ever
whatever
played
mundane
one.
thing they were
I
after
haven't,
and
but
just leave like nothing even happened. Everyone else in the party admires your dedication to staying
No, I
character,
forget I said
but
anything.
to you, it's just second nature. Lokatha. You're just a funny little bean. That's it. Just a small, quirky goofball. There's no real
I'm just a
reason
little
for why
guy.
you like this race, other than the fact that you think Lokatha are just funny guys. Loxodon. You're in your 20s and still remember how cool the elephant people were in Wizard 101. Everyone in the party became super interested in your character the second they heard you were playing a Loxodon, and you gushed about
I
your love for
remember
the race
when
for a good
our
half
buddy
an hour during
Tim
character
played
creation.
Alexodon. His name was
Minotaur.
Give.
You've been at the mercy of dungeon masters that know exactly how to operate minotaurs to be as deadly as possible and wanted to give them a taste of their own medicine. Your entire build revolves around your Goring Rush combo, and you always take the chance to mention how many enemies you've killed with fall damage. Orc. You have beef against WotC and their stupid corporate decisions, use tons of homebrew, adore hosting D&D games, and love fixing weird rules to make the game more fun for your groups. You're a valued member of the community, and everyone loves you. Owlin. What you lack with any actual lore for the race, you more than make up for with your sharp character personalities, witty sense of humor,
I have
and
an Owlin.
roleplay. You also have a
I think she's
love-hate
pretty.
relationship with
I think she's
flying
pretty
in
cool.
D&D games. It's so liberating, but at the cost of any other cool racial features. Plasmoid. You convinced your DM to let you give Plasmoids
Toxic
more humanoid
slime!
characteristics and are finally playing as the cute anime slime girl of your dreams. You get the other party members to hold all of your gear and
Toxic
always hatch creative
cesspit!
plans for getting out of sticky situations. Reborn. You found the only race that gets bonuses to death saves, and now have an unstoppable bravado in the heat of combat. You know
Reborn?
full well that it only takes getting hit twice after running out of health to instantly die, but that doesn't stop you from risking everything to be as chaotic as possible in the front lines. I'm also taking a risk with this last one, but there's a good chance you also aren't American. Satyr. Another race with a movie following, this time from the Chronicles of Narnia and Hercules. You're big into reading books, watching shows that everyone says are mid, and love characters that serve no other purpose than to be merchandisable fan favorites. Sea Elf. You're gonna go down into the comments section and leave a post on what makes this race so appealing to you. Because the guy writing this video certainly can't think of a single reason why anyone would want to play this race over Tritons. Shadar Kai. Your favorite race changes whenever a new elf gets printed, but Shadar Kai have been your favorite for a bit now because they're unapologetically edgy. You know lore about the Shadowfell, which is cool, and love making neutral evil characters. Shifter.
I wish I could make
You
a
find
like an
human-looking
evil
characters
character,
to be
but I
boring
like
and
being
love
nice.
transforming into more interesting things any chance you can get. You're also a closeted furry, or someone carefully testing to see if their friend group has a problem with that. Simic Hybrid. You always choose Mantiglide as your first race ability, and read way too deep into D&D race tier lists. I'll save you having to wait for my new one, and just say that the race is a solid A tier. Tabaxi. You're always scared to play this race at new tables because you know the stereotypes associated with it. Ironically, you also know that the
Fucking
tabletop
Luna from
community
Hell
is
of
the
a
most
Boss.
welcoming space in the world, but you don't let that hold
That's
back your
funny.
irrational fears. You marvel at how unapologetically open kobold players are with admiring their favorite race, but can only go as far when your entire group is filled with monster lovers. Thrycreen. Your DM is a stickler
Ant.
for object interaction, so holding items in extra hands is actually useful.
Bugoid.
You also love that Drycreen are monstrosities, just because it breaks the mold of everyone in the game being humanoid. And even though nothing else in your race is all that revolutionary, you enjoy fiddling around with new official game materials like it's DLC in a video game you've already beat. Tiefling. You went from being a minority in the real world to a majority in the fantasy one. Everyone can guess how you swing the moment it's revealed that you made a tiefling, and the vibrant color of your character's skin makes it even more apparent. If you're a new tiefling player and you have no idea what I'm referring to, then you'll learn a lot about yourself within the next year or two.
You didn't have to call me out like that. You didn't have to go. You don't have to, come up behind me and like put the knife to my throat like that. I don't know why you did that. I don't know why you would threaten my family like that. Why would you do that? Why would you do that to me? What did I do to you? What did I do to you to say that to me? Why'd you have to do that? What made you do that? How did I hurt you? How did I do that to you? How dare you? How didn't have to do that.
Turtle. You actually know a few really niche uses for hiding in your shell. And on occasion, they're better than just taking the dodge action. You also wanted an ungodly high armor class without having to waste hundreds of gold or stick points into dexterity. There's also a good chance your Turtle has a homebrew subclass. Could it be in Rogue by chance? Triton. The campaign takes place on a large body of water, and you just made a character that wouldn't completely suck if they were to fall into it. You're calm, cool, and collected, and your characters are the spitting image of thankless heroes. DMs read you like a book, though, and know exactly how you'll react to everything in the game. Vidalkin. You're a dungeon master who was forced to read up on Vidalkin lore to understand global politics in Ravnica. Somehow you didn't fall asleep doing so, and actually found their lore to be pretty interesting. Your players all call them the Smurf people from Avatar though, so any hope you had to entice them got thrown out the window.
The Smurf people from Avatar.
You got the book this race came from, and the sunk cost fallacy kicked in. Now you're pretending that this is your favorite race until the character dies, then you'll never play Verdant again. The new printing of goblins is looking more enticing by the minute. Warforged. You're a sucker for the emotionless character learns to love story arc. You have a killer monotone voice and can hold in a laugh to keep the bit going. And you don't have the best eating schedule. You want tea?
Dude,
your DM banned
Warforged can have feelings.
And finally, you want T Pureblood.
If you just make them a robot, then you're kind of boring.
And accidentally caught a tier list video that put Purebloods in S tier. Every time the DM sees you rolling against their spells with advantage, they get one step closer to banning Purebloods in their next campaign. As usual, if you're holding any other racial stereotypes, then share them down below. Check out a bunch more videos like these in this playlist over here, and I'll catch you all.
Yippee for racial stereotypes. 7 stages of a D&D player. What would that be?
The beginning of the D&D player's journey is best described with 2 words: exciting and intimidating. Exciting because everything they do is their first time doing that thing. There are so many classes to try, quests to complete, and stories to tell. All the best adventures are still ahead of them, but it's intimidating because
also, I'm sorry we're going on a video watch, but I'm trying to rest my voice because my throat is starting to hurt.
The idea of role-playing in character may feel cringe or awkward, and the game plays very differently from any board, card, or video game. New players are some of the most fun to play with because they haven't been influenced yet by rule structure and optimization, making them naturally more curious and open to trying new things. An old player introducing a new player to the game is like hanging out with your kid. You may have seen everything, but watching this new guy get impressed by what you see as mundane brings a sort of freshness and enthusiasm to the table
that can't really be
Can
matched.
confirm,
But a
Matt
lack
does
of
love
rules
fresh
knowledge and
minds.
basic player etiquette will be this player's biggest problem, which ties into stage 2. The player's aware of the basics of the gameplay loop, that being the combat, roleplay, and simple skill challenges that they've experienced over their last few games, completing one-shots, two-shots, and short campaigns. The new
Just
player's
raising up the
interest
volume
and
a little bit.
enjoyment of the game increases as they grow more competent and less insecure. This translates into confidence and comfort when playing, turning a game that they already enjoyed into a much more fun and immersive experience. This is one of the best times to be a D&D player, as you're learning the most information at the fastest rate you ever will, and there is still so much uncharted territory to explore. Now,
Yes.
they can truly call
That's
themselves
me.
a regular
That was
D&D
me.
player. With
I
enough
get it.
knowledge to start
I get it
understanding
now.
the memes and discussion around the game, they have all the marks of a fresh D&D player. Unfortunately, this confidence can become their downfall later, but first, the next stage, which is discovering their play style. At this point, the player has an educated understanding of exactly what they enjoy out of the game, so they spend their time refining that. I've seen players walk in expecting a fantasy combat simulator or survival adventure game, but they really warmed up to roleplay over time after having experienced it. I've also seen the opposite. Theater kids just looking for an acting outlet turning into bloodthirsty war criminals.
Anthony. Matt.
If they are big combat fans, they'll watch YouTube videos about min-maxing and getting the best battle build. If roleplay is more their flavor, they will find inspiration for their next character in any piece of media they consume. The point is
That's
that by
me.
now they
I
understand
did that.
what combination of things they find the most fun and engage best with that. But the next stage is where the good can turn ugly. The player now has all the knowledge of what they can do, with none of the experience that comes from failure, as they likely haven't seen any major consequences for their actions at this point. So they test their boundaries and see what they are really capable of.
I don't think I've
This
ever
as
done
that
that.
one part of a
I
video
hope not,
game
at
where
least.
you jump off a cliff to see if you take fall damage, or shoot teammates to test if there's friendly fire. Take those examples, but apply them to the scale of a tabletop role-playing game. So their margin for error is as big as the entire creative scope of Dungeons & Dragons. The sheer size and flavor of the problems they cause will depend on what brand of player they are. If they're a more comedic role player, interactions with NPCs could go way too far. If they're more into combat, their recklessness will be costly. But the biggest and most dangerous threat is the Dungeon Master's niceness. Being a nice DM has a lot of advantages. It genuinely
Overconfidence
outweighs the
is a
downsides.
slow and
But the
insidious
one big
killer.
drawback
Yes.
they usually suffer from is managing
Gotta be
unruly
humbled a little
players.
bit.
The DM being too nice is an enabler of many D&D horror stories, and simply put, they will struggle with unruly players and saying no. Usually, it's a bad mix of good intentions. The player has not suffered a major loss yet, so they are testing themselves. The nice DM just wants a fun game, so they may unintentionally give the green light to bad behavior just by trying to be nice. I remember I was a much nicer DM when I was new, so when my players would start testing risky behavior, I would downplay the danger level to keep the game fun and casual, which was stupid because it enabled them to do more risky behavior, which required
don't be
more
afraid to
layers
say
of focused
no.
plot armor. The problem can be completely avoided by a skilled DM and player, but what happens next is a sobering moment for everyone who experiences it. Due to either recklessness or just bad luck, the player experiences their first unexpected and unwanted character death. You notice one big thing right off the bat, and that is that character death hits harder than you'd think it would. All the time I get posts from players who were completely caught off guard by how surprisingly painful character death is. And when you think about it, there's a good reason for that. Players put a lot of themselves into their characters, and the more into roleplay you are, the harder you're going to take the loss of an entire character. from their story,
Anthony
friends,
and Matt can vouch.
personality, and role in the
I
group.
get a
This
little
is
bit too
especially true
attached.
for people who have a deep connection to their character, because for them, when their character dies, an extension of themselves that they constructed and lived through dies too.
Yeah.
But even for players that don't focus on roleplay, you will probably have to learn a new class, get new loot, and rework your combat style. There is no guarantee that you will enjoy this as much or more than your last one, so it's understandably scary. Plus, death just sucks. If you haven't had a character die on you, think about your favorite fictional character dying.
Yeah.
Now imagine that you created him and your choices could have prevented it. There's a world of difference between knowing something would kill you and actually going through it. While this stage has been very death-centered, dying is not the only way players can have this sort of wake-up call. It can be any scenario where they face serious consequences for a serious mistake, and they finally understand from experience that their actions can have adverse consequences. Some examples of this can be getting brought to the brink of death, a favorite NPC dying, or failing a quest in a way that seriously affects them. But I use death as it's the strongest example, and it's something that most players...
Quick little story time, but going off of, like, what he's talking about right now, like, consequences of, like, player actions, I remember in the first season of Swan Song that we did, we got into a gunfight with this antagonistic NPC, and afterwards, when it was all like over and done with, we had found out that one of the NPC's stray bullets like shot this this little girl in the head, and it killed her, and our NPC, like, leader at the time, he made us dig the grave and put the child in the grave, and it was brutal. It was very brutal. Like, this game has consequences, and if you're trying to test the waters, see what isn't allowed, you are going to find out, and you are going to find out hard and fast.
experience if they play for long enough anyways, but there is a light at the end of the tunnel. After the dust of despair settles, all the player is left with is perspective. Enlightenment slowly accumulates throughout the player's experience, but it skyrockets after things go terribly wrong. Why? Scarcity. Knowing that something doesn't last forever, or that it's actively running out, makes people value it more while they have it. So when the chips are down, the very real chance of losing gets the player into a do-or-die mindset. On top of that, experience with failure gives the player more appreciation for every win. Enlightenment is the moment the player finally, truly understands the player experience inside and out, from the peaks of success to the valleys of failure. Equipped with experience, they're ready to set off on their next stage. This one is less of a stage and more of a process. This player can teach the game to people that will become the same beginners from the start of this video, who will look up to this paragon of information and politely, yet firmly, force them to DM. Noobs will look on in amazement as our hero correctly identifies all the different dice, knows all the classes by heart, and has a wealth of fun stories to share.
Is that Soy Jug supposed to be Kiryu from the new Yakuza game? I don't know.
Our player knows the limits of his knowledge and perhaps doesn't feel he knows that much at all. This stage is defined by a long
I was gonna say something because I also thought that, but
the game,
I kept quiet.
As they experience it from a non-beginner's point of view. As such, people can spend years in this stage. As they make their way through the game, they develop opinions, they can approach discussion of the game from an educated point of view, and are typically the ones getting involved in the never-ending wars of online discourse. At this point, the player may even take on the helm as a dungeon master, running their own games. Taking it a step further, they can dabble in writing homebrew, world building, and tweaking the game ever so
The pee
subtly.
pee poo poo
As they gain
night.
experience, two things happen, one good, the other bad. Both of these effects will become more extreme the longer they play, and will set the tone for the next stage. The good news is that the more they play, the better they understand the game. Everybody's experienced having to stop the game and pull out the rules. It sucks, but from the beginning of this stage to the end, the player will become more adept. Rules knowledge becomes second nature, so the game runs faster and smoother with less hiccups.
Rules
The
of
big
cool,
drawback
baby.
is that very same knowledge will make our player all too aware of the flaws with Dungeons and Dragons as a system. What the player perceives as a flaw can vary. Some people love the things that others can't stand, and some people see very little to no flaws at all. These things are very important to our next and final stage. After all is said and done, the end of their journey manifests in a few different ways. Whether they prefer combat, roleplay, or anything else, these are the endings of a D&D player. Let's start with the lawful evil ending. This player has seen the
Once
game
I
for
get more
what it
settled
is
in the
and
house, I'm
decided
gonna
that
bring
it's
back
not for
D&D
them.
on
They
Wednesday,
are fed
hopefully.
up with D&D.
Yeah, me and Anthony
There
were
is
actually just talking
so
about
much
that.
they've grown to hate that they can barely stand it anymore. They may have tried homebrewing and patching rules they don't like, but
Since
not even
Anthony
that
can't do
is enough.
Tuesdays anymore,
But
I
if
was
they've
like,
been
yeah,
playing
I'm sure we
this
can move it
long,
to
they
Wednesday.
like tabletop
We've done it before.
RPGs. They just want a
Especially
new
now that
RPG
you're
to
more
obsess
settled in the
over.
house. I
This
really
is
want to
one of
play
those
Swan
good
Song.
news, bad news situations. Any game that is not D&D has opportunities to go in entirely new directions. While D&D has to paint with a broad fantasy brush, other RPGs can focus on perfecting more specific scenarios.
But we don't have to worry too
Because
much
of
about the
that,
stream
they can be
campaign.
designed extremely well and have the most die-hard fan bases. Luckily, they have found the perfect game. Now they just need to find a group willing to puzzle pieces together